Let me turn to the former White House Chief of Staff and former conservative Congressman Mark Meadows. It's good to see you, sir. Merry Christmas. It's great to have you as always.
Merry
So
Christmas
much
to you.
to discuss.
Hey, listen, I want to buy one of those books. I want you to sign it because I love liberty-loving Latinos. So that's great. The checks in the mail.
I will sign a copy and send it to you, Congressman. You got it. Let's start with the pipe bomber, shall we? During a discussion with Don Jr., the FBI director said that the case against the bomber will show that the Biden regime and the Comey-Ray FBI could have solved this case if they wanted to, but they chose not to. Instead, we saw what the FBI was doing. They were tracking down praying grandmas from January 6th. They were targeting Catholics in an overt display of religious bigotry, and in essence, being the jackbooted thugs taking out the Democrats' political enemies. Once all of that partisan hackery stopped, the FBI could actually get back to, doing their job, solving some crimes. That's my read. What is yours?
Well, obviously, they have focused on the real mission, and kudos to Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Janine Pirro and all the local law enforcement that came together. But it's even more remarkable than that. The Biden administration had 4 years to deal with this, and we see that we have an arrest and apparently a confession here in the first 10 months. But that's in addition to them having to ramp up, staff up, and then refocus this investigation. So kudos to them. I can tell you it's all about putting the bad guys behind bars, and they have really delivered on behalf of the American people.
See what happens when Democrats aren't making decisions? Things get done. Speaking of that, the Democrats have said they will only accept trillions of more of our taxpayer dollars being funneled to their pals in the traitorous insurance companies. They will only accept the massive fraud. They will only accept the failed Obamacare law. Meanwhile, the GOP has a plan that they are going to roll out next week, we're told. Comment on the Democrats' commitment to socialized medicine and corruption, but also address the GOP alternative. Do you think the Republicans will remember this little thing we call the free market?
Well, they should. Now, one of the problems, so let me address the Democrats first. What they want to do is make sure there's one health care provider, and that's the federal government. Now, you only have to go into your local DMV to realize the government is not the best position to actually efficiently and effectively give any kind of service, let alone your health care. And so they're all about making sure that government grows. But here's where the Republicans need to stand firm and not allow the hand-wringing, we've just got to give billions and trillions more of dollars. The health freedom accounts that we actually tried to get passed back in 2017 when one Republican senator did the thumbs down in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Coming back, but it's coming back with a modification. It's not only saying we're going to allow you to have health savings accounts, but we're going to allow you choose how you spend the money that the federal government gives. I think that it is a clarion call that needs to be made to all those that are tuned in right now. Make sure you call your Republican member of Congress and say it is time to side with freedom and the free market and not the Obamacare subsidies that we've endured for over a decade.
Can I get an amen? Thank you very much for saying that, Congressman. And I have a higher standard than even that. I say it's time to get government and the insurance companies out of our health care. It is between Americans and their doctors. And this idea that your next door neighbor is somehow obligated to pay for your health care, I think we've got to disincentivize our people from believing that, because that's just bat guano crazy. I want to play that soundbite from Joe Borelli for you again. He nails this unholy alliance between fake news and the Democrat Party. Listen.
This basically follows the typical Democratic fact pattern. It starts with a fake news story about Pete Hegseth that gets disproven. Right? He didn't actually order them to kill everyone. That's been sort of taken back. And then it goes into the part where Democrats defend the bad guys at the expense of law enforcement and now the American military. This is kind of standard Democratic operations.
Yeah, Congressman, how can conservatives break that cycle that has served to con so many people, to buy into these blatant lies and manufactured stories for decades?
Well, they need to push back immediately when it's an anonymous source reporting to the Washington Post or New York Times. They need to say, okay, I'll be a little bit more skeptical of it, whether it's CNN or others weighing in. But here's the key. He is right. It is their playbook. They've done it ever since Donald Trump announced to come down that escalator to run the first time. They put out a false narrative. They reinforce it with other legacy media folks. They get everybody up in arms, and then it goes away, and they never apologize. You know, I stood with Pete Hegseth, Secretary Hegseth, on this. I'll continue to do that. And you continue to bring the truth, Chris, because I think the more alternatives out there speaking truth, there is an audience out there willing to listen and finally willing to turn the TV off on the legacy media.
Amen to that. Last thing I got for you, Congressman, is the Democrats getting a taste of their own medicine for a change as red states starting to gerrymander to reduce Democrat seats the way blue states have been gerrymandering to reduce GOP seats. Texas gets a big win at the Supreme Court. I say it's about time. What do you say, Congressman?
Well, it is about time, and kudos to the Supreme Court for this ruling. Obviously, it was a split decision, but they don't need to look any further than Illinois, Massachusetts, Connecticut, where they have gerrymandered their system for decades. You know, this is not a new phenomenon with the Democrats, and so now the Republicans, when they're in control of large states like Florida and Texas and others, you're starting to see a level playing field. They don't like their own medicine, and it's time that we make sure that freedom rings.
And we have the America First Coalition to thank for it. Mark Meadows, a Merry Christmas to you, sir. Always appreciate the time you give us on the Salcedo Show. And a signed copy of the book coming your way, I promise. You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.